Hey, good morning. My name is Arnav. Welcome to my channel. It's a lovely morning today in Baltimore. It's quite sunny. It's the end of April and it is already 31 degrees Celsius. It's kind of hot. While in India, in Kolkata, the temperature is 40, 45 degrees. It's hotter than what it is actually here. But even I think in some parts of India, 31 degrees, people might say it's not so hot. I understand that. But when you're staying in Baltimore, when you have like started, when you were staying for the few months and the weather was, what, say, -1 degrees or 5 or 10 degrees. So shifting from that to 30 degrees, it's really hot over here right now. So yeah, let's start. So the first topic I wanted to share some information with is your driving license. So um, Baltimore is a really big city. It's a beautiful city. There are many places to explore, many places. If you like food, there are good places to eat and a lot of scenic places to travel to in the weekends. So driving is very important because we don't have so much good public transport here in Baltimore. So getting a license if you're a new driver is very tough. It takes a lot of time. It takes a couple of months. Why? Because if you don't have a license in India and your first time applying for a license, you would have to get a learner's permit. Then you need to take some hours of courses of learning videos, and then you'll get the chance to go behind the wheels test. Sorry for that. So once you clear that test, then you'll get a license, and post that you can buy a car. But you can bypass this long time range if you have a driving license in India. So Baltimore for Indians, I feel a lot of Indians come to Baltimore because we have the National Institute of Health, the National Institute of Aging. You have John Hopkins University, so people come here for PhD, postdoctorates, masters, and whatnot. So when you come here and you want to buy a car, but you are struggling because you don't have a license, so the best thing is you get a license in India. Okay, you get a license in India. I think you have to drive for more than an year or so, and then you come to Baltimore, and then it is much easier to get a license. The only thing is that you need to practice because we drive on the other side than what we used to drive in India. So practicing that is something of a mental trick that you need to get in touch with. Like when we take a right turn, what we do in India, we cross the road, the divider, and then we take a right. But in US, we don't do that. You just take a right. You don't have to cross the road to the other side. So these are some mental things. Like if you are like a great driver in India and you're supposed to driving in US, so you will have that impulse of taking a right turn by crossing the road, but you don't have to do that here. So this is kind of a study, I believe, that you will get by practice. It's not so tough. A few classes, maybe like 6 or 8 hours will do. I have an Indian driving license, and I took around 4 sessions, which is around 8 hours, and that was enough for me. And I went and I just had my behind the wheels test, and I cleared it on the first attempt, and it was done. So yeah, if you have an Indian license, it is very easy to convert that into a out of the country license and then get a Maryland driving license. All you need to do is um, get your knowledge test. It's very simple, common sense type questions. There are apps available in the Play Store which you can give mock tests, and you can study and practice. And if you do that, it's a piece of cake. Trust me. Once you have that, you need to go to a driving school, and you need to apply for a drug and alcohol program, which is, I think, a 2 or 3 hours course. They'll give you a online course. Once you go through the course, you can schedule your exam and give the test. There are a lot of schools available. They charge you between 60 to 80, or some schools even charge you $90. So go for the best school, where they will allow you to, like, reappear for the exam without uh, any charges, and they will only ask you to pay the fee once you clear the exam. So once you have that, so you have your knowledge test, you have your drug and alcohol. Next is you schedule your behind the wheels test. So just one thing, you need to get your drug and alcohol first, because when you go to schedule your knowledge test, on that day, they'll ask for the drug and alcohol certificate. So get your drug and alcohol first, then you get your knowledge test, and you schedule your exam for behind the wheels test. So behind the wheels test is, it can be a bit you can be a bit nervous, because on every exam, well, I am like a bit nervous. I think it's what most people are. Like, exams make us nervous a lot. So finally, when you go for the exam, there will be an instructor who will be sitting beside you in the car. There's a small circuit which you need to complete in, I think, 5 minutes or so. You need to do a reverse parking, and once you have done that, you come out. You again go to the main road, and then they'll take you on the streets. You have to follow their instructions. They will tell you to, like, stop, take a right, take a left. uh, Follow the instructions, complete the entire test, and you will be done. And you'll get your driving license within, like, you'll get a paper license on the same day that you have passed, and that is enough to qualify you that you have a driver license, and you can buy a car, or you can rent a car, and you can drive it in the United States. Or you can wait for 1 week, and you'll get your driving license by post in your mailing address. So I would suggest that's one of the things that we did not know. I was lucky that I had my driving license in India, so it only took me a month, because I just had to take a few driving courses to get accustomed to the driving rules in US. And because there are a lot of rules you need to maintain, unlike in India. Like, you have to drive within your lane. You cannot just change your lane. You need to signal when you're, like, standing at a signal, and you have to take a right turn. You have to be in the rightmost lane. And sometimes, well, even if the signal is red, but there is no signboard saying that no turn on red. That means you can just check if there is traffic, and you can take a right. You can't do it for left. Um, Similarly, when you take a left turn, you need to see the road, that there'll be lanes marked, like this lane is for taking left turns and straight. Some lanes will be only for straight, some lanes will be for the right turn. So you have to be on the left lane properly to take the left turn, and you have to always yield to oncoming traffic, and you cannot just take a turn. So as you have to wait for the whole traffic to pass by, and only then you can take a left. It can happen that the green turns to red, and you miss your turn, and you need to wait for a few more minutes. But, well, that is what the rules are over here, and if you follow the rules, you're completely safe. So yeah, so if you have a driving license in India, it's quite easy. So I was lucky that I had my license. My wife, unfortunately, she did not have a license, so now she has to go through the entire process of uh, that 30 hours, or I'm not sure, like, I think it's 30 hours of classes, and you have to complete those online classes, and then you need to take some practice for some few more hours, and your driving school will have to submit those hours to the MBA, that is the like body from where you do your driving tests and you get the license. Once those are submitted, and then you can go ahead with your next steps. Yeah. So step number one, if you're coming to the United States, uh, get an Indian driving license.